Hi, this is Vonnie Rivera with Pray Ask Gifts, and we're so glad you've joined us for our Aging Gracefully Challenge. We are on a mission to age the way God says we can age. And this week, we are looking at how to have a good brain, a brain that thinks good thoughts, and a brain that functions well. So we are fasting negative thoughts of fear, disappointment, trouble, criticism, jealousy, self-condemnation, and today we are fasting the thoughts of unforgiveness. So you know the ones where Satan reminds you constantly of how badly you were treated and how unkind someone was. And of course, what a hypocrite they are to treat you that way, but still call themselves a Christian. These are the thoughts that we're going to be fasting. Yes, they were wrong. They were totally wrong. They shouldn't have done that. But Jesus said we must forgive. And the good news is that forgiveness is not really a feeling, it's a decision that we make based on our obedience to God. And we make that decision in faith with God's help. In Matthew 18, Jesus tells a parable about a man who refuses to forgive someone even after he's been forgiven. And Jesus describes the consequences of that unforgiveness as being like torture. Let's stop torturing ourselves. Let's fast all thoughts of all unkindnesses ever done to us. The unkindness we remember exists in the past. Let's let it stay there and not bring it into our future. Let's move into the future with God's blessing and without the baggage of unforgiveness. Also, just a caution, be aware that unforgiveness can block our prayers, including prayers for healing. In his book, A More Excellent Way, Dr. Henry W. Wright says, the first block to healing is unforgiveness, and this is the most important one. If we don't deal with this block first, we're not going any further in any of the dimensions. We're wasting our time. So, for both mental and physical health, forgive. And there's some wonderful verses on forgiveness, Ephesians 4:32. Instead, be kind, gentle, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. Mark 11:25. But when you are praying, first forgive anyone you're holding a grudge against, so that your Father in heaven will forgive your sins too. Then in Matthew 18, Peter says, Lord, how many times do I have to forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times? No, not 7, Jesus replied, 70 times 7. It's kind of like saying infinity. Colossians 3:13, make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, and you must forgive others. Okay, so our challenge for today is to fast unforgiveness. Fast all thoughts about anyone who's ever hurt you. And when the enemy reminds you of the things they've done, just say, no, I have forgiven that person by faith. I refuse to think that thought. And then the second part of the challenge is to pray blessings for that person. As Jesus said, pray for those who despitefully use you in Matthew 5. So ladies, I think that this will be a wonderful healing day as we fast unforgiveness. And we will look tomorrow at some of the things that we can do that will actually help our brain function better. And that's what we want when we age. Thank you.